Okay, let's pull this up. Alright, you ready?
Yep, let's go.
What's up, guys? This is the AMZ Secret Show, and your host, David Aladdin. This is a podcast for advanced sellers looking to 2x, 3x, and 10x their business. It's also a Periscope, too. We're not just in this game to take part, but we're in this business to take over. I believe in consistently pushing ourselves to the next level in strategies that break people through. The wealthiest entrepreneurs are consistently hungry for new strategies and secrets in this business. Take Richard Branson, who's 65, or Warren Buffett, who's in his 80s. They're still working every single day for knowledge and secrets and just building their businesses. It's not always about the money. So today's sponsor is AMZ Secrets VIP, the social network for advanced Amazon sellers looking to 2x and 20x their Amazon businesses. It brings secrets, real-time, live masterminds, discussions, and insights all in one place, organized the way you sell on Amazon. Today we've got a special guest on the show. His name is Brady. He's from Canada, and he's an awesome entrepreneur with over $30,000 in monthly revenue, and even cooler, he's broken down the barriers to selling across different countries, Canada, UK, and the US. So welcome on the show. Brady, how's it going?
Good. I'm excited to be a part of the show.
Yeah, it's awesome to have you on. So for everybody watching, we've been planning this interview for some time. I actually have him on Skype. We message kind of daily, exchanging secrets and whatnot. And he's actually submitted a lot of great secrets on the show. So
A couple gray hat secrets, but
yeah. So for anyone wondering, gray hat is kind of like it's not against TOS, but there's a slight chance that it could one day be against the TOS. So it's just good to know the difference between white hat. You definitely can't get banned or suspended. Gray hat, you there's a small chance, but right at this very moment, it's not bannable offense. It's actually not detailed in the TOS of Amazon, so that's called gray hat. And then you got black hat, which you're doing it. It's against the TOS, but you're still doing it. So Brady, back to not talking about gray hat, just to start off. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. It's probably the coldest city in the world.
Oh wow.
I got involved with Amazon actually from a friend. He was telling me how simple it can be for you to fulfill with Amazon and sell products all over the world. So I started doing that in my last year at university. I got one product live, and things were actually going pretty good. I picked a hot product right off the start, thankfully.
Okay.
And I really began gaining a trust with my supplier. That's really been the key to my success. So I trust them so much that I don't even send my products to myself and do a quality check. I actually just send them right to the Amazon warehouses from China. I know a lot of people don't like to do that, but we have a mutual understanding where if it is a bad shipment and there is faulty units, he's going to refund me money without questions asked.
No, yeah,
So,
that makes sense. I actually,
exactly.
just like this last month, I had a massive defect in one of my product shipments. About 1,000 units were defective, but my manufacturer, like if you have a good manufacturer, they will completely, remove all those bad units from your thing and not even charge you, and then also rebuild them, for free of cost within, so some sellers, they actually get screwed. So I guess you kind of landed on a good secret, building epic relationships with your manufacturers, kind of like how Brady has done and also how I have done, can save you, tens of thousands of dollars, because defects do happen. With 1,000 units, that's easily a 10 grand, 15, 20 grand defect mistake. So,
For sure.
So how, wait, did you say how old you were? Because I don't think the audience knows.
Okay, yeah, I'm 23 currently.
Yeah, so dude, this guy's younger than me, which is pretty crazy because I thought I was pretty young doing private label. I'm 28, but he's 5 years younger than me. So just imagine being, a seller for 5 years and just cranking out the way, the pace that we've all been going at. over at AMZ Secrets, the Facebook group, which is free. We're killing it. I've definitely learned a ton of new secrets like every day. And also Brady's been telling me a lot of cool stuff on the side. But we also bring some of the insights that he has to everyone. So it's pretty cool. So 23 years old. It's crazy. Okay, so can you tell us like some tricks or secrets that you do with your manufacturer that makes you build that great rapport and relationship?
Well, just a lot of the time when I'm product sourcing, I even get him to send me ideas. So he knows what's hot selling out of China, right, to the States and everything. So with my business model, I really designed it where I'm not ever trying to bring something new to Amazon. I always just want to sell kind of what's trending and what's hot at the time.
Interesting.
So he sometimes even suggests products that I didn't even think of. So that really helps our relationship. So then a lot of the times I'll give the product a try and then it will be a hit because he knows what's hot and what's selling out of China like crazy.
It's cool that you said that because, a lot of people don't even acknowledge this secret in itself. And Brady just said an epic secret. If you talk to your manufacturer, they will tell you what products are selling well. And a lot of these products don't even exist in their catalogs. So I actually have a few products that don't even exist in their catalogs, but they do sell them. So pretty epic.
Yeah. And if you got a really good trust with your supplier, even if they don't make that product, he can definitely find it. Like most of these manufacturers are in big.
They're all in touch with each other. It's like a little community over there.
He can get it.
Yeah. So let's go back a little bit. Can you tell us like what got you into private label at 23? How much money you started off with?
For sure. Yeah, I started off with only around $8,000. Okay. I actually borrowed the money to get started because I was in my last year of university, so I was pretty broke at the time. Then I just took a risk. I've always kind of been an entrepreneur. My first year of university, I built an app with a couple of friends, a movie quoting app. It didn't have the success we wanted because we couldn't afford proper development.
Was it like just like hot movies that were coming out?
Yeah, so for example, if you like the Will Ferrell quotes, like his famous one-liners, and you like to repeat it to your buddies, for example, in text I might say, I'm ready to party tonight, but like a Will Ferrell saying, you can go on this app and it's a search engine that would find that exact video clip, and then you could text it to your friend in video.
Yeah, that's kind of like there's one for audio. Like you play an audio and what's it called? You play an audio and it detects what audio you're playing. I can't think.
Yeah, there's lots out there like that, but we were the actual video.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? No, I'm surprised that I was asking what the app was because a lot of times, based on your surroundings, you'll launch something based on that. So, like for example, most people that are in college tend to start like something that will help students like grow in college, like textbooks. So it's just kind of like a cool insight. The things that you surround yourself with is the kind of businesses that you build. And I've directly noticed that it's all from like your experiences, what you see and hear, like all around the place. So it's kind of even my business, like I built it over something that I actually like to do. So your business reflects like who you are, and it's really cool because you spend thousands of dollars building this thing, and you kind of need to like think of where the origins and the concept of your business started from. And is that kind of how your Amazon business started too?
For sure, yeah. Well, it was more just after the fact that my friend said he was doing well with a couple of products. So money really drives me at the end of the day.
Dude, word of mouth is like spreading fast. Like
exactly.
I think it was like over 500,000 new sellers joined into Amazon. I think that's a stat this year. So just crazy numbers. Like the heck, every seller sells one product, right, the first year, but then let's say like they add 4 more SKUs. That whole group of sellers that year, it just quadrupled the number of products that are, listed. So that's how fast Amazon, the number of products is being listed on Amazon.
Sure. And getting back to that movie quote app I was talking about, Amazon now has that merch by Amazon we discussed in our Skype.
Yeah.
So, for example, now I'm designing shirts with those famous quotes, but with merch by Amazon, all you have to do is design the logo in the shirt, and then Amazon produces the shirt and then just sends you a royalty. So all you have to do is just generate traffic to those listings.
I actually applied to that. They just never responded to me. So maybe they think I can't come up with good quotes or logos. But
But I was doing a lot of research, and a lot of the sellers in there don't.
Yeah, they
I
don't
wouldn't say
understand.
the listings aren't that well. Like I don't think it's overly competitive right now, so it might be a good time for people trying to jump in there.
Okay, so this is kind of a really cool secret. Merch by Amazon is a new platform that Amazon has created where you just create logos, designs, or pretty much anything related to your business, and they will plop it onto like a t-shirt, or I think it's going to actually be a bunch of different types of physical objects soon, but merch by, because do you see how it's not like clothes by Amazon, it's merch by Amazon, which could cover anything. Oops, sorry about that. And then, so what he's doing is he's already launched a product on merch, and then he's going to expand it into, probably expand it into other different products that he's going to put his quotes on, like coffee mugs and whatnot.
For sure.
How's it selling? Are you selling a lot of units yet?
It's well so far, yeah. I mean, you have to.
How many units are we talking about?
What's that?
How many units are we talking about per month?
I just started it last month, and I've sold already 20 this month. So.
Dude, that's pretty good.
It's all right, yeah. But you really have to generate the traffic there.
Go ahead.
You really have to generate the traffic there. So through Facebook, I've been doing a lot.
Oh, cool. No, but in terms of like keeping inventory, you don't ship to FBA. It's just the inventory is already infinite over there, right?
Exactly. That's the beauty of the whole merch by Amazon. You don't hold anything. You don't put any upfront cost. All you're doing is just collecting a royalty on every shirt that goes out. But you still have to pay for the marketing to get the traffic there.
All right. So secret number 3 is merch by Amazon. Requires zero inventory. Just great logos, great content on the stuff, and also there's no barrier to. Well, the sellers currently aren't doing a good job. Like it's pretty much your average Joe versus you're going up against these AMZ kings.
Yes, definitely.
So someone with the knowledge of product listing, optimization of images, text, descriptions, keywords, all that stuff is going to kill it. So hopefully I get accepted into that. I'm actually want to try it.
Yeah, well, it's minimal risk, that's for sure.
I don't know, but honestly, like my business it's starting to take off. So I'm trying to focus like entirely on my private line, which. The speed at which it's grown is exciting. So, can you tell us more about? I'm not sure. I already know how many SKUs you sell, but can you tell the audience about the number of SKUs you sell and the different marketplaces that you sell on?
Yeah, for sure. So, I do 10 in Canada, 10 in the US, and then 5 in the UK right now, just because I'm slowly still moving over to the UK.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's epic. Dude, like never before in our time have we been able to just quickly sell, thousands, and cover, never before could you take a product, by yourself and sell across different countries. Like it's like you can touch the other people across the ocean right now.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the cool thing with fulfillment in the UK is all you have to do is send your shipment to the UK, and then it is able to disperse to 5 other countries on top of that. So you get all the countries in the UK, plus you get Spain, Italy, France, and Germany. So they'll all send out from your UK fulfillment warehouse. So you don't have to send all these different individual warehouses to reach those other countries, which is really nice.
Dude, all right, so that's another epic secret that Brady has just given us. Secret number 3 is you send inventory to one warehouse in the UK and it shoots it out into 5 different countries in the UK. I don't even know, why don't they do that in the US? Like, why do we have to send it to, they're making us do all the work.
Yeah, I know. I think in the UK all the countries are so much closer together where it's much easier for them to do that.
I don't know. I disagree with Amazon's policy on making us do the heavy lifting there. But, in terms of like the global scale of everything, like for anybody listening live right now, do any of you guys list in multiple countries right now? Because Brady actually pushed me to start selling into Canada, and in order to do that, Brady, can you tell them what you told me in the Skype? In order to
sure. So we always launch our product in the States first. So then when you transfer it over to Canada, your credibility transfers over into the Canadian marketplace. So you have to ship more units to Canada to a separate warehouse, but the listing will actually transfer over. Mm-hmm. So that means when you first go live in Canada, with 0 reviews in Canada, it'll show your top 5 US reviews, and then you'll also start ranking for your keywords right away. So the big term you're going after in the States that you're trying to rank for, as soon as you transfer to Canada, you might be already on the first page for that term, because the credibility transfers over from your U.S. listing.
All right, so that's a crap load of good stuff right there. Secret number 6, Canada shows your, is it the top 5 reviews or the latest 5 reviews?
It's actually the most voted for, so the most helpful, which is nice.
Okay, so Canada shows the top 5 reviews that are on your U.S. listing. So I didn't even know that. Previous to meeting you, which is pretty cool because it kind of gives you like a little boost into the Canada market. And then
for sure,
secret number 7 is Canada is super easy to rank for, meaning there's not a lot of competition, which and there's one thing that Brady slipped out. He probably just assumed that you guys know this, but it takes like 5 seconds to transfer all your listens from US to Canada. It's just a click of a button. You don't have to recreate the listens from scratch. Amazon has created this new functionality that is crazy. Like you just click one button, and the whole Canada product listings, they just start populating. And then you gotta send the inventory to the shipment. And then, okay, so one of our live viewers is asking, what about taxes? How complicated does that get?
The taxes of selling in other countries?
In Canada specifically, but yeah, I guess we could go into all the countries too.
Well, the UK, they have a VAT. I think it's VAT or VAT. To be honest, I don't handle a lot of the accounting stuff. I just hand it all over to my accountant, so yeah. I don't worry too much.
When you're 23, you just have accountants handle it. You don't do it yourself, guys.
Well, I don't want to get into that stuff. There's too much going on.
If your accountant files for every country, or does he just do it for one? I think you have to do it per
even
country,
just does it for one. I know in the UK, once you go over 100 grand there in the year, then you have to file for the VAT or the VAT, which then it starts becoming a little bit more expensive. But because I've only been there for a couple of months, I'm not there yet. So
yeah, well, the cool thing is what you said there is you need over 100K to get the VAT, or you need to sell over 100K. But that'd be a nice little cushion to add to your bottom line too. So that's tight.
Sure.
So how are sales in Canada versus the U.S.? What are the difference? What percentage differences are?
Honestly, I'm sitting close to even numbers right now.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, because it's mainly because I'm in quite a competitive industry.
Yeah.
In Canada, sure, there's less shoppers, but I'm ranking so much better that pretty much the same amount of people are seeing my listings.
All right, so secret number 8, Canada can 2x your business.
That's right.
That's it. That's epic. And so right now, I've moved my listens over to Canada as well. And so we'll see how that does. It's going to take a while to get inventory over to Canada. So here's a cool question, because I've been thinking about it. Are you centralizing all your inventory first and then shipping them out, or do you have your manufacturers ship them all out from China to Canada, to the UK, to the US? How's that?
I have him ship them all out, so he does all the labeling too.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy, but it makes very less work, and I can just focus on expanding for sure. So He does all the labeling. How I taught him how to do the labeling was I created a YouTube video of me like putting each label and then on each product and then the big box label on the box. So I kind of walked him through step by step how it would have to be done. And now he's able to do it. So when I create my labels in Amazon, they send them in a PDF, and I just email the labels in PDF format to my supplier. He prints them there and he puts them on every box and the big box that they all go in. And then he sends them off to Amazon warehouses right from there.
That's epic. Okay, just to tag people that just joined in on the Periscope, we are interviewing Brady, who sells over $30,000 a month in UK, Canada, and the US. So secret number 9 that he just revealed, you got to build processes. So I actually haven't built this specific process where you create YouTube videos to show your manufacturer, how to ship overseas to different countries. But yeah, you went all out with the YouTube videos, because then you can just send that to other manufacturers as well if you're trying to.
Yeah, well, with the China, a lot of them aren't able to open YouTube videos, so I have it on YouTube, but I also save the file to my MP4.
All right, so what he's referring to, it's called the Great Wall of Internet or something. China is it's a communist nation, so hopefully my manufacturer's not listening to this. They can't actually probably. They're blocked from most of social media. They're blocked from. It mostly has to do with the. Hopefully I don't pronounce this wrong. It's the Tiananmen Square. Is this huge incident that happened in China, where the government kind of they massacred a lot of protesters that were protesting the government. And so they've been trying to hide this entire event from their people because it creates a lot of anger and strife, and they're just trying to control, almost like the emotions of the people so that they don't go against the government. And so that's how they've been keeping them in check. So if you tell your manufacturer to go on Facebook or YouTube, it's blocked. Even Gmail, I think, is blocked now too, because Gmail wasn't giving them access to their databases. So just a cool little history lesson.
Amazon links, though. That's important.
What'd you say? Sorry.
You can send Amazon links to them.
Yeah. Oh, they do have access to Amazon. Well, it's because Amazon's not in the politics area. Google kind of tries to sway politics a little bit. Yep. But that being said, it's easy to travel to China. I've met a bunch of sellers that do travel to China, to the Canton Fair. And so you can kind of get an idea if you try to browse the web over there. They have their own ecosystem, and every single epic website that we have in the U.S. And Canada, they have their own version of it. So they have their own version of Facebook, they have their own version of Gmail, and even their own version of Google search. So it's kind of cool. With my manufacturer, I was trying to show her my Facebook page and whatnot. And she was able to go over the Great Wall of China, internet-wise, using a proxy to view it. So, pretty cool. Okay, so let's get back on track. Moving aside from Canada and the UK, unless we have live viewers that want to ask more questions, what gray hat tricks are you willing to share with us?
Which gray hat tricks?
Yeah, just out of curiosity.
Let me think here.
Okay, so we'll just let you think on that one for now, and we'll get back to it if you have any that come to mind. So I like to ask a lot of sellers, where do they have their money invested? Are you strictly focused on Amazon and have all your dollars in Amazon, or are you diversifying into real estate? Are you diversifying into other businesses to balance, your overall bank account?
I'm strictly devoted to Amazon right now. So I have a mentor because I'm only 23.
No, yeah.
And he says you got to go with what's working, right? So this opportunity, I believe, isn't going to be here forever, but while it's here, I'm definitely going to try and hit it out of the park.
I feel we've brushed across this principle before. It's called Paretto's principle. I don't know have you heard about that, Brady?
No, I haven't.
It's called Paretto's principle. It's the 80-20 rule. It says that 20%, like in terms of Amazon, 20% of your SKUs make 80% of the money, and it applies to everything. So, like 20% of your businesses make 80% of the money. 20% of your time, or 80% of your time should be focused on the 20% of the producing objects, because there's going to be 80% that doesn't produce anything at all. So what his mentor is kind of saying is stay focused on what works, ditch what doesn't work, because it happens like a lot. So if you understand the principle really well, you can start pivoting all your decisions, all your mindsets toward that 20% that does work, and just cancel out everything else. And it does work. Like, dude, it does crazy wonders to your business. Also, relationships and your time. So just Paretto's Principle is awesome. It's like a game changer. It's in the 4-Hour Work Week. It's a book by Tim Ferriss, and among a lot of major entrepreneurs understand this principle, and they deploy it on a daily basis. So pretty epic. Okay, so did you get a gray area secret, by the way, or should we check back in?
Well, this isn't really gray, but if people are selling on other platforms, so a lot of the time I copy my exact listings from Amazon all over different platforms. So whether it's eBay, Etsy, if it's Etsy applicable. Anytime I get sales on there, I just go into Amazon and I create a fulfillment order. So when you send a fulfillment order, like a replacement to somebody.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's actually,
so I do that too, and then I fulfill it by Amazon. But a lot of time I give a huge advantage on these other platforms because I'm able to offer 2-day shipping. So a lot of sellers can't offer that, but I'm able to offer that through Amazon.
For me, like when I do fulfillment by Amazon, it actually makes me do a 3 to 5 day shipping when I fulfill by Amazon to like an eBay buyer. I don't know if that works for you, or you get 2-day.
I was getting the 2-day option on some of my smaller items.
That's awesome. Okay, so maybe I have to take a look at that. They try to charge me more for shipping. It turns out to be like $10 or something versus. Like
they definitely charge you a little more, but I just work that into my margin on those other listings.
Oh, I see. Cool. I kind of got a cool secret that I just see. It's like something that I noticed, but I don't do it. For people that are selling on eBay, you can sell internationally on eBay to anyone. So if you're currently in the U.S. and someone buys your thing on eBay, eBay kind of has like this weird fulfillment thing where you send. What happens is it gives you an address for eBay, and then eBay takes that item and it like ships it overseas to wherever you want to go. So instead of mailing directly to the customer, you mail first to eBay, and then eBay bounces it wherever you want it to go, which is cool because it'd be very expensive to ship to like Canada or to the UK straight from US, but they do it for it's like $6. It's the same price, and I don't know if you noticed that kind of cool trick. Okay, so one person asked, how much money did you start off with? I believe you said $8,000 to start off with.
$8,000 borrowed money, yes.
Yeah, borrowed money. Funny thing is, when I started, my main, or before I got into private label and selling on Amazon and building this business, I had my own software business. So when I started into Amazon, I had this huge project, and I took all that money from that huge project and I just sent it over to the Amazon project. It was a huge gamble. So, and with his $8,000 thing, like that's a lot of money for like any 23-year-old, especially like. Were you in college before, or you just skipped straight into private label?
Yeah, I was in my last year of college when I started my first product.
Okay, so I'm guessing this kind of changed your career path.
Definitely. Well, I always knew I wanted to own my own business, starting with the app I did.
What was your career path?
Honestly, to try and own something. Like I have some experience in sales as well, but
the thing is, so I went to school for engineering. I have like my bachelor's degree, and I don't use it at all. So a lot of my friends like come over and they're like, Dave, it's messed up because like your degree is better than mine. I'm like, yeah, but you got to really find what you love to do because I believe you can when you find that like thing that you're good at, you can make way more money than the 8 to 5 job. It's consistent the 8 to 5 job, but it's not. It's predictable. The income's predictable. Your time is predictable as well. So time being, you have to spend 8 hours a day, and then that 8 hours a day that you spend, you never get it back. But 8 hours a day on your private label business, your business keeps getting these new hours that are being inputted. And I like to think of hours as like energy balls. Like you're throwing energy balls into your business. Whereas when you work at like another business, your energy balls, you never get those back. So it's kind of, I think working like, sorry if anybody like currently has an 8 to 5 job, but like when you do that, you're sacrificing all your energy into another business that never gives you a return on your investment unless you have equity, So.
Sure.
So when you left college, did you go straight into Amazon, or did you try finding a job and that didn't work out?
Well, I was actually selling cars too, so
Was it your cars?
last year I was selling cars.
Who's
doing college, and then I opened this Amazon product, but the first product really started taking off, and I knew I didn't want to be selling cars for the rest of my life. Sure, it was good money at the time, but not comparable to the income that Amazon has been giving me lately.
So Brady lives in Canada, and your main marketplace is in the U.S., correct?
Yes.
Okay, so for people that are overseas, how does that work for you? How are you doing returns? Like when someone returns your product, it has to go to an address. How do you work that out?
It only has to go to an address if you wanted to. Depending on your margin, a lot of time we don't even find it's worth it to send our products to us all the way in Canada and then go through them all. So Amazon will actually destroy them.
Dude,
they say they destroy them.
You just came up with a huge kind of cool idea. And I'm just going to say it because I don't know. I don't even have the time to kind of do this. But think about it. All the people that live in Canada that sell in the U.S., they all have these products and they're just destroying them. What if you got those people in touch with people that live in the U.S. and you would send your extra units over to those people in the U.S. Because you're probably just over the course of a year, you're probably destroying maybe 10 units a month times 12. That's 120 units.
Yeah.
So and then you do that across all your SKUs, which you have 10. So that's over 1,250 units technically.
Yeah. Well, after Christmas,
and then you do that for 50 different sellers. I'm just talking about a service that provides that, where you just grab all the units that people are disposing instead of just, I think that'd be cool.
Definitely.
There's a lot of value in that one. Something we could think about. I don't know. Okay, so let's pivot a little bit. Let's talk about something new. What's your work-life balance? Do you have a girlfriend? How's that working out?
Yes, I have a girlfriend. She's in her last year of school, so she's constantly studying. So most of the nights when she goes to school and study. What's that, sorry?
What does she think about your business?
I don't know. She's happy for me. She knows I'm an entrepreneur at heart, and this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
She doesn't understand it fully, but
they never do.
Trying to explain this business to people where I say I own a store, but I don't see any of my products. I only see the samples. It's hard for people to get their mind around for sure.
Oh yeah. So that's why I tend to ship a lot of units to my house. It's good for gifts and whatnot, but it's kind of, I don't know. I like to hold it and then also be able to take my product and improve on it, because I like to get products that I use almost not on a daily basis, but use it frequently. So I think that is kind of a good advantage to have in private label, because I don't believe in just taking a product and selling it right away. I believe in doing lots of reiterations on existing products. So keep improving it. You get 1-star feedbacks, take those 1-star feedbacks and prove them wrong the next time.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's kind of like a cool secret that I just found out, or just had an insight that I do. People that leave one star reviews on my products, I'll contact them. I'll give them a discount on any future products. So it's kind of cool. They're a lot more happier now. And I don't tell them to change the review. I tell them to hold back until we can make it right. Either we could refund them or we could send them another one. So, and that is with the terms of service. Never try to tell a customer to change his feedback. Like give me a 5-star, because that is definitely against terms of service. And I've heard of people getting like kind of suspended for that kind of stuff. So,
Are you familiar with Feedback Genius? Do you use Feedback Genius?
Yeah, I use Feedback Genius. I like their match and algorithm. For people that don't know, if you want to explain, it's kind of cool.
Well, you can explain it. Go ahead.
Okay, the Feedback Genius has this really cool algorithm that's like brand new, where it matches negative product reviews with potential people that have bought your product. So what I think they do is they take the timestamp when the person bought your product, and they also take the timestamp when the review was left. And they have this database that matches that, and it also matches the name of the seller. So the name of the seller that left that product review connected with the name of the seller that is in Manage Orders tab. So, and it uses this algorithm that combines both, and then if it matches, you can contact the negative star review, which is pretty helpful in terms of getting 1-star reviews, 2-star, and 3-star reviews, and even 4-star if you're really picky. I don't remove 4-star. And sometimes I don't even remove 3-star. I like to kind of have like a nice flow of mostly, 90-ish% positive feedback. But I feel like if you get too high up in the percentage of feedbacks, it looks too fake or whatever. So
going off the Feedback Genius, the negative product reviews, I have it set up where I get a text from my phone as soon as they notify it.
Also, we're not affiliated to them, by the way. I'm
okay. Anyway, so they send me a text message saying you just got a negative review, and then even if I'm out with friends, I jump on it right away on my phone, and if I'm able to see the username and then match it in my orders, I respond to that person within 5 minutes of them leaving that review. So they're way more likely to get back to you on it.
Okay, so Brady because I didn't even realize this, Brady just unlocked a new secret number 11. Time is of the essence in terms of, I think he's actually absolutely correct on this. Time is of the essence in terms of responding to bad customer feedback. If you can get them while they're at their computer when they just left that review, and then message them, you can get them to remove that feedback a lot easier. So, secret number 11, time is of the essence when. And so he does that by hooking Feedback 5 with text message alerts. And it's pretty easy to do that in their back end. I don't have mine set up to text message, but now I'm gonna. So.
Do all your following know about removing seller feedback?
No, probably not. You can go ahead. Go ahead and tell them.
So anytime, you know how you get product reviews and then there's also store reviews, which is seller feedback? If it is associated with a negative review whatsoever with the product, you can actually get that review removed off of your seller feedback.
So that's another good secret.
So all you have to do that is you copy the order number that they'll give you in the seller feedback, and then you go to help, and then you go to contact us, and then in the first tab in customers and orders, you copy and paste the order ID number in there, and then you can select, I believe it's feedback was a product review or something, and then Amazon will look at it and then potentially remove it if it's associated at all with the product, which I honestly think 90% of my seller feedbacks are. People just don't understand that they're actually, my seller feedback and not the product review.
Okay, so that's a pretty good secret. I actually haven't been looking through my seller feedback because, I feel like people don't look at seller feedback as much, but I know I need to do a better job at combing through. But the secret is if the seller feedback is related to anything with your product, it's not qualified as seller feedback, and it can be removed if you contact Amazon. So that's pretty good. I'm sure you can get a lot of like bad seller feedback removed. And seller feedback, it plays a role in the fact if you get too many bad seller feedbacks, it starts to damage your listing and how much it shows up on Amazon. So it could affect your SEO. And it can also get you suspended if your seller feedback becomes like really bad. So your seller feedback is a reflection of how well you're selling on Amazon and in terms of customer service. And there's a lot of other metrics as well. So okay, so here's another cool question. In terms of Canada, USA, and the UK, which one can you rank them from most to least? So does Canada sell more than UK or vice versa?
I would say US being the powerhouse though. There's just the market in the US is just insane. Yeah. I think it's roughly 10 times Canadians, the Canadian market.
Yeah.
For shoppers shopping on Amazon.
The thing is, I'm not really concerned about like the current amount that you're selling on Canada. I feel like all these multiple marketplaces are going to grow. From what I've heard, these marketplaces are like 3 years behind the U.S. So once they get up to speed, once they get that customer adoption from their countries, they become crazy places to sell. So that being said, if you get there early and you start building your reviews, I think it could be a crazy place to grow your business and kind of have a head start on the competition that already exists. Because not everyone is willing to put in the time to sell into Canada, or to ship units over to Canada. But these kind of things, like you have your manufacturer doing them all, so it's kind of like a flick of the wand. It's like go ahead and do it. Kind of. So I think that type of expansion usually takes like teams of people, whereas you have done it all by yourself, which is huge. I think it's awesome. I was talking to Brady the other day, and I'm like, dude, never before in our anyone's lives could you just tap into like massive marketplaces from the click of a mouse. So yesterday I was thinking, I was like, I have to be like the biggest moron not to become a millionaire if I can't make this work, because there's just so much potential behind a keyboard now. It's like ridiculous.
Exactly.
So okay, what's our time? All right, so we got 12 minutes left. Does anybody have questions that you guys want to ask? We're on this is a podcast / live Periscope, so kind of makes it a little bit more interactive and dynamic.
I'd like to elaborate on the service me and my one business partner want to offer eventually. Yeah, that's right. So what we're building right now is it's gonna be an online platform where this is my business partner who he does $60K a month, so different industry, but he's definitely dominating Amazon. And what we want to offer is a place where you can send your product to a trusted place. we're gonna take proper pictures of it. And then we're also going to do all the keyword research and build a listing for you if you want. But what people don't understand is pictures, in my mind, is the most important part of your listing by a mile. And a lot of people aren't doing the pictures right, I find. So on the pictures, I know Amazon says that you have to always just have a white background. Mm-hmm. But anytime where we've associated people using our product in the pictures, our conversion has shot up. So I don't know. I wouldn't consider that gray hat, but
I don't believe that's unless are you talking about your main product image or your secondary?
Your secondary, sorry.
Okay, yeah, I don't see that as gray hat.
They still don't like it from what I've read, but
a lot of my competitors do that as well. So I don't see it as gray hat. They'd have to suspend all of my category.
Exactly.
Secret number 13, which is pretty solid because I didn't even acknowledge this one. Put people in your secondary and, what is it called? Thirdary?
Yeah, that's true.
Thirdary photos, because Brady has recognized that conversion rate spikes big time when you do that. So that might even be a 2x, 3x secret. And the cool thing is, So it's funny, like every day we have like a new 2x, 3x secret, and the fact is, like I was selling around 15 units a day, and now I'm selling around 50 units a day. So they do 2x, 3x your business, and I've actually almost had to increase my price due to all these things because my inventory is not sustainable at this rate. But I did increase my price last night. I was like, uh-oh. So that's an awesome secret, Brady. Appreciate the cool little pointer. Do you have like a brand name that you have set for this business that you're creating that you want to tell the audience, or is it something to
not yet. I was hoping for the next podcast we would have it all live and ready.
Okay.
Right now we're just setting up the
bring you
office.
back on the show, so we can talk about that too, and then we're also going to pivot into other discussions that we didn't really talk about today, but we will in the future. So definitely stay tuned for that. We got 9 minutes left. There's a few people that asked what was your launch strategy for your products.
I do use AMZ tracker. Are you using that currently, David?
I do use it. Did you know they got acquired for $2 million?
Really?
Yeah, I was reading the news. I like to read the news and just see what's going on all in the area, the atmosphere of Amazon, because it does play a huge role into the decision. Like it kind of goes back to the app. And then do you see how he took his? I'm jumping back and forth now, but he took his app that he created, and then now he's taken those quotes that he put in his app that he created, and he's put it on merch at Amazon.com. So everything that you put into your mind, it actually affects everything about your business, and we do it subconsciously. It's insane. So,
the thing I like about
I use AMZ Tracker as well, but I honestly I only use it for if I want to do product reviews. They have a ton of different services that I don't really find too useful for my needs. What do you think about?
You don't like the ranking, the keyword ranking?
I look at it, but the amount of keywords that I'm trying to go for, it's kind of crazy. It doesn't help. I feel like it's cool. Okay, my keywords are working. That's good. But I don't really pivot my decisions of my listing based on what my keywords are ranking. I just keep, I keep creating more articles at my authority website to grow that. And I guess I target my main keywords doing that.
Well, we use it mainly for testing because it's so good. Anytime you make changes.
What's your thoughts on super URLs?
Well, AMZ is not using them anymore, so they must have gotten in trouble for that.
Oh, I didn't even check lately. AMZ Tracker removed that tab.
Yeah. So I liked them at the time, but I always thought in my back of my mind that it was a little.
Well, they were probably getting a black hat reputation for doing that because it had no strategic influence besides redirecting people to certain keywords. So that's totally black hat. I actually removed my super URLs before AMZ Tracker did it. So I was just like, this is definitely manipulation of the search algorithm. So
for sure. Which I know a couple other tools that do that too, but don't need to elaborate on it right now.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Another thing I like. Another thing I like about AMZ as well is it works in Canada and the UK. They have their own review clubs out there too that you can easily.
So that's one thing that I have to give major props to AMZ Tracker. They kind of pioneered the whole review process because it's segregated across different countries, but they figured out the API across the different countries, which is not an easy task to do. If you look at the review clubs, most of them can only do in the US. They can't do for the Canada and the UK marketplace, and that's because it's just a different platform. They're built at different times, so it's kind of cool. What were you saying? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, just that when you expand to these new marketplaces, it's not like you need to know people there to try out your product. Mm-hmm. So you'll find people in these new countries where it helps get your product off the ground. That
kind of reminds me. All right, so Canada, I've been getting a lot of customer inquiries through my Facebook page and other from my authority website. They're like, dude, can you sell in Canada? I'm like, it's just 1, 2, 3 customers. But if you think about it, think about the customers that didn't go out of their way to like message you and take their own energy and message you that thing. So there's, for every like one person that says something, think of like 10 people that want to actually buy it. And so one thing Brady was telling me outside of this podcast or Periscope was a lot of Canadians will use the U.S. Amazon.com and make sure that the product is good before buying it on the Canadian marketplace. So it's like their product research area. Is that correct?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, and you live in Canada, right?
Yeah.
I'm not even getting an accent out of you. Maybe I have an accent.
Accent? What kind of accent are we supposed to have?
I swear, like Canadians, like have accents, don't they? Anybody can anybody attest to this? I think you guys had accents. You sound American to me.
Just because we say A a lot?
That might be it. That's funny. Okay, so before we get finished, we have 4 minutes left. What's your vision moving forward? You have 10 SKUs. Are you trying to open up more, or are you trying to create variations on the existing?
Not so much variants. I'm just trying to optimize them a bit better.
Mm-hmm. What if you could do it in 4 minutes? What kind of optimization techniques do you do?
I'm always testing stuff on the listings. I know we've talked about that, whether it's changing the title around a bit, changing back end search terms.
It's funny you say that. Like, the past like 3 weeks, I've been kind of like risk averse, and I've been very risky with my list, and like one of my listens, I changed a lot of stuff, and he's like, I only changed one thing. I was like, yeah, but I believe in like these like secrets, and have you been having major impacts? Because I was saying earlier, like the impact that has happened on my listen, it's been like 3x, but when you change one, I know you might not get instant results. Usually it takes about a week or two. But have you seen any increases based on the changes that we've been doing?
Nothing yet. Nothing that's really measurable yet.
So the one thing that is measurable is when you're risky, you win.
But now you don't know which change actually worked for you.
No, but think about it. You do we have 2 changes actually. It's David Aladdin changes versus Brady M changes. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I was like super risky with my listens. I did like quite a few changes, and he was changing one, so it's kind of interesting to see, what worked. I changed multiple things and it did work. He changed one thing and it didn't. So I don't know if that has an effect in algorithm too. It could. Like, what if you change 5 things at once? Does it do better than just changing one thing? Like, no, it's impossible to really measure this kind of thing, except for the fact that me and him were both doing it at the same time. So, and I did multiple changes and he did one. So I don't know. It could change. It could affect. It could not.
Yeah.
Right now, I think it affects, but we'll see. But Brady, thanks for having you on the show. It was awesome to have you. Brady is about to start a full-time Amazon consultancy, so we're gonna have him on the podcast again, so he could talk about it a little bit more, and then we'll also talk about some more secrets. And in this show, we actually talked about 13 secrets today that were all pretty solid. So we do appreciate you coming on the show. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, through the services too, it would be mainly we'd focus heavily on doing images for you. Mm-hmm. So I feel a lot of people aren't doing that right, no matter how hard they're trying at it. But we've been in the game for long enough that we know what images sell.
Well, the thing is, if the price is right, well, actually, if the images are solid, like I would totally use it. I think I have like 2 or 3 images that I just absolutely hate on my listen. Even though the listen does well, you're right. Images can definitely affect the amount of sales.
Definitely.
So I think that service is definitely, it's a service that you can't have enough of, because like you can always have an image and always beat that current existing image. So let's say like I have like my 5 set of images, but then you come back with like 5 better images. Yeah, I'll definitely pay. I could pay $1,000 for that, because that's like nothing compared to the amount of revenue that it brings in exchange. So
Yeah.
I think with that kind of business, you need like solid testimonials, from people that everyone knows about. So like if people know about it, of the people that are saying these testimonials, they'll definitely be like, oh, it's definitely worth it, Like imagine if you got like Scott Boker, like, I'm Scott Boker, and I think, yeah, it's like sign me up. So because like, these
Definitely.
people, like you have to put your reputation behind it, and when it does work out, then if it does 2x your business, it's definitely worth the price, like $1,000.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and I believe
Whatever the amount is, as long as it increases the top line of all the products across the board, or the product that you're doing, it could be pretty lucrative.
yeah, and I believe our keyword research is much better than everyone's, just because we're paying for like 10 external tools to
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
fun words all, and then we
I actually,
go from
for
there.
me, like I don't invest in those tools, and it's been okay for me so far. But that being said, I haven't. If I did invest in it, it'd be interesting to see how it would affect. I use a lot of the free tools. I use the Google Keyword Planner. I also, I just like. I guess like if you like keep browsing around the web at your competitors and all the listings that are attacking your product, you'll find a lot of information. And then I'll just leave it at this last secret. Secret 13. I bought all my competitors' products. It costed maybe like $200, but dude, the insights that I got from all of them was like it was stupid. Like I could see all the stuff that they were doing, including like the email responses that they were doing. So it's kind of very like I like to be either on par with my competitors or slightly better. So I usually try to choose the slightly better route. So knowing what they're doing, and seeing what they did, like I was like I have all their stuff. Like I hold it and I'm like, dude, this is inferior. This is actually a pretty good product, and doing that gives you, like, I think like millions of insights that you can't really acknowledge like all the way up front with words, but you know what to do. So kind of a cool little trick that I do. But yeah, thanks for coming on the show. We'll have you back on. Does anybody have any last questions? We're definitely a little over time. All right. Well, thanks for having me on the show. Talk to you guys later.
Yeah, we'll be in touch.